Good evening. The time is 9 p.m. U.S. Central Time. This program is coming to you live from Chicago. And in the news at this hour, our top story. Late this afternoon, a federal judge said New York State prosecutors must be given access to President Donald Trump's accounting records for their criminal investigation. The ruling by U.S. District Judge Victor Marrero follows a landmark Supreme Court decision this past summer, ruling that the presidency is not constitutionally immune from such inquiry. The ruling today opens the possibility that Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance could obtain the records before the presidential election. Within an hour of the verdict, Trump filed an emergency appeal with the Second Circuit Court, hoping to stop the subpoena from being enforced next week. No word yet on whether that appeals court will accept the petition. In addressing Trump's attorney's tactics, the judge in the current case said their legal strategy amounts to an attempt to gain the very type of immunity that the Supreme Court has forbidden by running out the clock. This, he said, was unprecedented, far-reaching, and perilous to the rule of law. Former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon was arrested today on charges of defrauding hundreds of thousands of donors through his We Build the Wall fundraiser, a campaign intended to help President Trump fulfill a campaign promise of building a southern border wall. Instead, prosecutors allege that Bannon and his co-conspirators embezzled at least $1 million from the arrangement. CNN's legal analyst Eli Honig files this report.
This is really a massive fraud case. The allegation essentially is that Steve Bannon and the three other defendants who were charged and indicted with him today marketed this scheme, this Build the Wall scheme, collected donations from hundreds of thousands of donors under the false pretense that this money is going to go to build a southern border wall. Instead, what Steve Bannon and the other defendants allegedly did was pocket that money. In some ways, if you take out the big names, it is a standard, very easily provable fraud.
Honig added that the paper trail on the case is extensive, including fake invoices, which should make for a tight case against the foursome. Bannon was apprehended this morning with the assistance of the U.S. Coast Guard as he was on board a yacht offshore of Connecticut. Bannon pleaded not guilty in this afternoon's court proceedings. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy and the USPS are trying to calm public outrage over now halted changes at the agency, which critics blame for slowdowns in mail service. That poses the challenge of having to convince Americans that mail-in voting is safe, while also defending against attacks from the Trump administration. DeJoy is set to appear at congressional hearings tomorrow and Monday on the matter. President Trump is not letting up his fight on mail-in voting, though. His re-election campaign has sued the state of New Jersey over its decision to mail ballots to all residents, who can then choose to return mail or in-person voting. Meanwhile, House Democrats today released their $25 billion proposal for increased post office funding. Democratic Senator Kamala Harris officially accepted her historic vice presidential nomination last night during an evening filled with heavy hitters at the party's national convention. But gaining the most attention was the address by former President Barack Obama, who put aside a long tradition of not directly attacking the current office holder as he unleashed a scathing rebuke of President Trump's governance.
I did hope, for the sake of our country, that Donald Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously, that he might come to feel the weight of the office and discover some reverence for the democracy that had been placed in his care. But he never did. For close to 4 years now, he has shown no interest in putting in the work, no interest in finding common ground, no interest in using the awesome power of his office to help anyone but himself and his friends.
Former President Barack Obama speaking at last night's Democratic convention. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren And 2016 presidential nominee Hillary Clinton also spoke during the third night of the virtual event. Mrs. Clinton issued a strong warning to voters to make their voices heard. Here is our nightly coronavirus update. Some U.S. states are seeing a decline in the rate of new virus cases. However, a quick survey of the rest of the world reveals a great deal of bad news. France and Spain have reported new daily record increases in cases since coming out of their lockdowns. Germany recorded more than 1,700 new cases in the past 24 hours, marking that country's highest number of daily infections since April. In New Zealand, where the disease was thought to be well under control, officials have reported an alarming new cluster of outbreaks. South Korea has seen a week of triple-digit daily increases, while Japan has also experienced its biggest upsurge in the current month. Here are the latest numbers from the Center for Disease Control. Total cases in the United States now stand at 5.5 million. That is up by 46,000 from yesterday's figure. Death toll now stands at 173,000, an increase of 1,400 over the previous day. More news in just a moment.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Time is 9:07 p.m. In economic news, the number of people filing for unemployment benefits last week was greater than expected, raising further concerns about the state of the economy as lawmakers struggle to move forward on a new pandemic stimulus package. The Labor Department's weekly jobs report this afternoon indicated that initial unemployment claims for the week ended August 15th came in at 1,106,000. Initial claims for the previous week were also revised slightly higher by 8,000. American Airlines has announced it will temporarily stop flying to 15 smaller-sized cities across the United States. As a result, some areas could wind up being underserved as the virus pandemic continues to devastate the travel industry. The plan at this time affects the period from October 7th through November 3rd, but American has offered no guarantees that service will return after that time. The company said it is considering additional schedule changes in the coming weeks, according to a press release issued this afternoon. On Wall Street, modest upward movement on all three indexes today. Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 47 to close at 27,740. NASDAQ up 118 at 11,265. And the S&P 500, 3,386. That's plus 11 points. Now the weather report. The record heat is becoming a bit less intense across much of the west, but conditions are still hot and dry, so the critical fire alerts remain in effect for portions of California and the northern Great Basin. The eastern half of the United States, on the other hand, will experience cooler than normal temperatures, while showers and thunderstorms are on tap for the southeastern quarter of the country, including Florida and the mid-Atlantic over the coming days. For Chicagoland, fair skies and smooth sailing ahead. Tonight, clear with a low around 67. Tomorrow, Friday, sunshine and 87 for a high. Tomorrow night, continued clear and pleasant, low 66. For the weekend, Saturday and Sunday both should reach close to 90 with sunshine. No mention of rain for the next several days. Our current conditions under partly cloudy skies, 79 degrees at Midway Airport, 77 at the lakefront, relative humidity 44%, a southwest wind at 9 miles per hour. AccuWeather radar, clear for several hundred miles in all directions. The time is 9:09 p.m. and once again here at Radio City, we have 77 distinctive degrees.
Live from Chicago, Variety Broadcast presents Radio Classics. Now, here's your host, Tom Edwards.
All right, now you kids, you quit shaking up the car, or Mama's going to pull over and spank you both. The cars, you shake it up. 13 minutes after 9 o'clock, 9:13 in the evening at Radio Classics. And a lovely evening it is. We are playing, of course, second fiddle to the Democratic National Convention for the, what is this, third, fourth night in a row. But that's all right. I don't mind playing second fiddle to Mr. Obama, Mrs. Clinton, Ms. Harris, and, of course, Mr. Biden makes his big acceptance speech tonight. I'm certainly going to watch those later, thanks to the miracle of videotape available on the internet. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I did watch a little bit this morning of Mr. Obama's takedown of Trump. Did you catch that, where he says he was hoping he would grow into the job and begin to learn how to do things for the benefit of the country, but he hasn't learned any such thing. He's not interested in doing anything except, stuff for himself and for his friends, enriching himself and his friends. And boy, that capsulizes it in a nutshell, doesn't it? Well, let's see. What have we got on our agenda tonight? We have our trivia game, of course, which I will tell you about momentarily. We have lots of good music. We have the Merriam-Webster word of the day, this date in history, lots of good things coming your way. For the moment, let's take a quick break from our sponsor from yesteryear.
You can trust your car to the man who wears the star. He's the man best qualified to take care of your car at every Texaco station, clean across the nation. You can trust your car to the man who wears the star, the big, bright Texaco star.
Bringing you the Milton Berle Show tonight. I'm not positive, but I think Sherry and Mike are among our number here tonight on the chat board. Hi to Celeste, and welcome. Good to see you. The reason I say I'm not certain, my control panel shows me that Sherry and then Mike logged on, first of all, to the Facebook page. I keep that over there as sort of a trail of breadcrumbs with the link where you can follow it over here to YouTube, and it looks like they peeked on that and then moved on. So I hope they made it over here. I hope we're not experiencing technical difficulties again tonight. I think we got all of the bugs straightened out the other day when I downloaded an update to the broadcast software program. If you were tuned in, you might have heard me mention they did a bunch of changes on YouTube. And the software program that I use for broadcasting, it's called XSplit. Not that it's critical that you know that, but, just keeping you informed, making conversations. They did a lot of upgrades to keep track of what YouTube was doing, the changes they had made, but their software does not have an automatic update, as many of these things do. And I didn't find out about it until an hour before broadcast last night. Finally got it all downloaded and straightened out. Thank goodness. Oh, it's always something, as Rosanna used to say. My daddy said it's always something, All right, now, about our trivia game, that's our big claim to fame. We play for Monopoly money, and whoever the skillful and lucky contestant is to accumulate the most Monopoly dollars by the end of the broadcast wins a fabulous grand prize. Tonight, we are giving away the Pennsylvania Railroad. Here he comes now. Look out, get off the track. Tickets, please. All right, there goes your grand prize. You better run after it. Madam, did you stop this train by pulling that cord? Well, I didn't do it by dragging my foot. All right, now remember, no search engines on the honor system. And be careful about multi-part questions. Sometimes we do have those, and your answer won't be counted unless you answer all parts of the question. All right, now that we got the rules out of the way, let's get to the fun part. Here comes question number 1. $20 value, and our category is sweets and treats. Here's your clue. Do you know exactly how to eat blank? Well, to do it, you unscrew it very fast, 'cause a kid'll eat the middle of a blank first, and save the chocolate cookie outside for last. Name the treat. And excuse my frog in my throat. $20 sweets and treats. Do you know exactly how to eat a blank? Well, to do it, you unscrew it very fast, 'cause a kid'll eat the middle of blank first, and save the chocolate cookie outside for last. All right, give it a shot. And good luck. And musically now, we'll enjoy the Birds. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, sing a song.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there ain't no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you. Take me for a trip upon your magic swirling ship. All my senses have been stripped, and my hands can't feel to grip, and my toes too numb to step. Wait, oh my boot heels to be wandering. I'm ready to go anywhere. I'm ready for to fade onto my own parade. Cast your dancing spell my way. I promise to go under it. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there ain't no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
Those are the Birds singing for us, Mr. Tambourine Man, on Radio Classics 921 in the evening. What's next on the agenda?
Word of the day.
Oop, do you hear bells? I do too. I think my ears are ringing. All right, the word of the day from Merriam-Webster, the dictionary people. Today's word, inveigh, I-N-V-E-I-G-H. The definition, to protest or complain bitterly, to rail against. It comes from the Latin word invehere, which joins the prefix in with the verb vehere, and it means, in the original Latin, to carry. Interesting transition. Once it became an English word, well, then it means to nag or complain or to, you know what. Inveigh is our word of the day. Thanks to the dictionary people, Merriam-Webster.com, or I should say m-w.com. Do. Let's see now, we'll check the trivia game in just a moment. I guess our friend Gwen is still locked out of the chat mechanism because she sent me a text message with her guess. And she did have the right answer, but our fastest fingers on that one, I see Susan had the right answer too, but Celeste was the very first one on the board, so congrats. Yes, my haphazard singing notwithstanding of the age-old Oreo cookie jingle, that's what we were looking for. Do you know exactly how to eat an Oreo? Well, to do it, you unscrew it very fast. 'Cause a kid'll eat the middle of an Oreo first and save the chocolate cookie outside for last. Okay, we'll have another question in just a moment, but Celeste is on the scoreboard now with $20.
Grab a bucket and mop. Scrub the bottom and top. There is nothing so clean as my burger machine. With a broom and a brush, clean it up for the rush. Before you open the door, or to shine on the floor. When we finish one then, start all over again. Tell me, what does it mean? At McDonald's it's clean. You deserve a break today. So get up and get away to McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's.
Now, our friend Celeste from Pennsylvania was also having problems earlier being locked off of the chat board, locked out of the chat board on YouTube, but you never did rectify that as far as a cell phone. Isn't that right, Celeste? You finally resorted to using a laptop computer instead. Have I got that right? Because if you did manage to figure out how to get on with a cell phone, maybe we can have a conversation about that later. I can pass some pointers along to Gwen because it looks like she's having the same problem. I own an Android Motorola cell phone, and it's probably a different model that other people are having trouble with. I think everybody has told me, the ones who are having trouble, that they have an iPhone. And, of course, debugging these things by remote control when you're not sitting next to the person so you can see what they see, that's kind of difficult. But, hey, maybe we can get it straightened out. So, but meantime, Gwen is with us in spirit by text message as she's participating on our grand trivia game with us. Let's go for question number 2 now. And this time, our category is geography, a $25 value. Do you know the way to San Jose? Well, if we are not talking about the California city, where are we talking about? Other than California, where is there another San Jose? I'll give you an extra hint. It is a capital city. All right, a $25 value, and we are looking for San Jose, but not the one in California. Other than California, where is there a San Jose?
Love will keep us together. Think of me, babe, whenever some sweet talking girl comes along, singing a song. Don't mess around, you just gotta be strong. Just stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. You belong to me now. Ain't gonna set you free now. When those girls start hanging around, talking me down, here with your heart and you won't hear a sound. Just stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever. Young and beautiful, someday you look so be gone. When the others turn you off, who'll be turning you on? I will be there to share forever. Love will keep us together. I said it before and I'll say it again. While others pretend, I need you now and I need you then. Just stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever, whatever. I will. You better stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever, whatever. I will.
Big hit for the captain and to Neil. Radio Classics, 29 minutes after 9 o'clock. Tom Edwards, your host for the most popular music on the coast of Lake Michigan. Yeah, I know it's a shore. It's not really a coast, but shore doesn't rhyme, so what do you expect me to do? All right, time to look back in time. Maestro, could we have our grand opening music as we look back on this date in history for the 20th of August. On this date in 1940, Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky was assassinated in Mexico. It was never fully proved, but it is highly likely the assassin wielding an axe was hired by Stalin. 1975, on this date, Viking 1, an unmanned U.S. probe, launched from Cape Canaveral, its destination, Mars. 1968, on this date, unmanned, by the way. We didn't send anybody to Mars and forget about them. 1968, on this date, approximately 200,000 Soviet troops and 5,000 tanks rolled into Czechoslovakia to crush the Prague Spring, a brief period of liberalization in the communist country. I remember that very well because Shirley Temple, she went by Shirley Temple Black by then, and she had moved from her childhood movie career toward a diplomatic career, you remember? And she was in Prague the night of that invasion, giving a report by telephone from the roof of her hotel where she had gone to get out of the line of fire. Not sure why, but for some reason that is just etched into my memory. 1911, on this date. Now, this is a cool story. Under the heading of technology, the New York Times took part in a test to see how fast a telegraph message could be sent around the world on commercial wire services. The text of it read simply, "This message is being sent around the world." Very logical, very direct, to the point, huh? It was sent from the dispatch office on the 17th floor of the New York Times building at 7 p.m. on August 20th, 1911. It traveled more than 28,000 miles, being relayed by 16 different operators through San Francisco, the Philippines, Hong Kong, Saigon, Singapore, Bombay, Malta, Lisbon, and the Azores, among other locations. The reply was finally received by the same operator 16 and a half minutes later. It was the fastest time achieved by a commercial cablegram since the opening of the Pacific Cable in 1900 by the Commercial Cable Company. Do you know what he sent in reply? We didn't catch that. Could you repeat it, please?
It's new. It's the newest spearmint.
The coolest spearmint.
New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
The chilliest.
Most refreshingest. New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum. The truest spearmint flavor that starts lively. Spearmint flavor that stays lively. The flavor's in it. The flavor's on it.
In each minty green swirl.
You can taste the added flavor. You can see the added flavor.
In each flavorful frosty green mint swirl.
It's the newest, coolest, mintiest flavor ever put in one stick of gum.
From Beech Nut.
New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
More flavor to choose. More flavors to choose. The flavor starts lively. The flavor stays lively. By Beech Nut. By Beech Nut. By Beech Nut. By gum.
Try Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
See, now there's the answer to our chat screen problems. All you have to do is use the New York Times round-the-world cable system, and 16 and a half minutes after you tap out your answer, it'll wind up here on YouTube. Right alongside Celeste, who is the winner of round 2. Good job. That's 2 in a row for Celeste. Her score is now $45. On that question, geography, the other San Jose, do you know the way? That would be Costa Rica. Good job. Our score is Celeste's sole entry on the board with $45.
I was born in the wagon of a traveling show. My mama used to dance for the money they'd throw. Papa would do whatever he could. Preach a little gospel, sell a couple bottles of Dr. Good. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, we'd hear it from the people of the town. They'd call us gypsies, tramps, and thieves. But every night all the men would come around and lay their money down. Picked up a boy just south of Mobile, gave him a ride, filled him with with a hot meal. I was 16, he was 21. Rode with us to Memphis, and Papa would have shot him if he knew what he'd done. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, we'd hear it from the people of the town. They'd call us gypsies, tramps, and thieves. But every night all the men would come around and lay their money down. I never had schooling, but it taught me well with its smooth southern style. 3 months later, I'm a gal in trouble, and I haven't seen him for a while. Oh, I haven't seen him for a while. She was born in the wagon of a traveling show. Her mama had to dance for the money they'd throw. Grandpa do whatever he could, preach a little gospel, sell a couple bottles of Dr. Good. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, we'd hear it from the people of the town. They'd call us gypsies, tramps, and thieves. But every night all the men would come around and lay their money down. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, we'd hear it from the people of the town. They'd call us gypsies.
There we have the Trump administration theme song, Gypsies, Tramps, Thieves, and other assorted lowlifes and scoundrels. Share on Radio Classics at 9:36 on a lovely Thursday evening.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed. And Coke refreshes you best. It's the refreshingest. Food goes better with fun, goes better with you, go better with Coke. The real life one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
Right now, why not let an ice-cold Coke make things go better for you? Cold, crisp, never too sweet. Fun. Food. And people. All need the spirited taste of ice-cold Coke to be really refreshed.
Things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
Here comes round 3. Give the old trivia machine a spin. Oh, goody, it's time for Name That Tune, my favorite, our audio daily double, just like in Jeopardy. Well, it's not really double, it's a regular score. $25 on the barrel. I can give you a little bit of a hint. This was a big, big #1 hit from 1988 for a very popular American group. All right, now remember, it is a two-parter because we need singer and song, so please make sure you include both in your answer. All right, $25 goes to the first correct answer. Here comes your audio clue.
Name that tune.
Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go?
And now, here's more of Radio Classics with your host, Tom Edwards.
People talking, trying to pick us up. Why won't they let us be? Bricks and stone may break my bones, but talk don't bother me. People talking, trying to pick us up when they know that I love you so. So I don't care what the people may say. I'll never, never let you go. I've been abused. In my heart. I've been accused. I've been buked. And I've been found. People talking, trying to pick us up, yeah, scandalizing my name. They'll say anything just to make me feel bad, yes, anything to make me shame. and accused. I've been duped. People talking trying to pick us up and they scandalize my name. They'll say anything just to make me feel bad. Yes, anything to make me shame. Yes, I know. Yes, I know it. And you know it too. Don't you know it too?
There we have the talents of Ray Charles on Radio Classics. 9:40 in the evening, and we have a winner from the New York Times cable system stretching all around the world. A round of applause, audience. Gwen hit that win by text message. Yes, indeed. She got here the fastest, ahead of everybody on the chat board. Good job. The tune we were looking for is The Beach Boys, their big hit from 1988, Kokomo.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go? Jamaica, off the Florida Keys. There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go to Kokomo? You can play fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. We gotta go, Martinique, that Montserrat mystique. We'll put out to sea, and we'll perfect our chemistry. By and by we'll defy a little bit of gravity. Afternoon delight, cocktails and moonlit nights. That dreamy look in your eye, give me a tropical contact high. Way down in Kokomo, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? You can play fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. We down to Kokomo. Oh, Prince, I wanna catch a glimpse. Everybody knows a little place like Kokomo. Now if you wanna go and get away from it all, go down to Kokomo. Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go down to Kokomo? You can play fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. We gotta go, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take.
I have often wondered why they would make such a cool song about such a dull place as Kokomo, Indiana. And as I was looking up the particulars to put together a trivia question on this, I came upon the Wikipedia article with all of the Beach Boys' discography, their various albums and songs over the years, and it has nothing to do with Kokomo, Indiana. I didn't listen to the whole lyric and I didn't read up on it, but supposedly, according to what the Wikipedia article said, they weave it into the lyrics that it's a fictional island, like somewhere near the Florida Keys, I think. So it has nothing to do with Kokomo, Indiana. Who knew? All right. Well, congratulations to Gwen on that round. She was our fastest fingers with the correct answer. $25 on the board for Gwen. Yeah, boy. Celeste is still in the lead, though, with $45. And we will have question number 4 right after this important word.
It's raisins that make post-raisin bran so wonderful. It's raisins that make post-raisin bran so different. It's raisins that make post-raisin bran so raisiny. More raisins, lots more raisins, more raisins than you have ever seen before. If you like raisins, have juicy raisins. You like post-raisin bran more.
Post, the more raisin bran.
I remember that commercial so well. You remember it was a bunch of guys dressed up as raisins, and they were in a giant bowl of cereal, and they bounced up and down as they sang that song. It's raisins that make do-do-do-do-do. Sort of the raisin operetta there. Okay, round 4 of trivia. Here we go. This time we have a $25 question for you under the heading of chemistry. I hope you paid attention in high school because it's going to come in handy for you now. All right, first you take potassium nitrate, charcoal, and sulfur. Mix them up, and what do you got? What is the common everyday name for those 3 ingredients once they have all been mixed together? $25 the value, chemistry the category. We take potassium nitrate, charcoal, and sulfur. Stir them all together. Tell me what you got. $25 for the first correct answer. Musically, now we have for you Andrew Gold.
He was born on a summer day in 1951, and with the slap of a hand he had landed as an only son. His mother and father said, "What a lovely boy, we'll teach him what we learned." Oh yes, just what we learned. We'll dress him up warmly and we'll send him
Gold singing for us on Radio Classics. Same fellow who did the song that was the opening theme for the Golden Girls, remember? Thank you for being a friend. Let's see, 9:51, and I'm looking over our chat screen with all the various answers. I'm going to take a quick break and double check, but I don't think anybody has got the correct answer. A lot of good guesses, a lot of close ones, but nobody hit it straight on. But like I say, I'm going to read back, scroll back, and double check while we do this in the meantime.
Put a tic-tac in your mouth and get out of life.
It's a clean, fresh explosion of mint.
Put a tic-tac in your mouth and get out of life. It's a clean, fresh explosion of mint. Put a tic-tac in your mouth and get out of life. It's a clean, fresh explosion of mint.
All right, time's up. A lot of good guesses. We had dynamite, we had TNT, Gwen guessed a match. That all of those do contain some of the ingredients, but think older. You were in the right church but the wrong pew. The formula, potassium nitrate, charcoal, and sulfur, that's just good old-fashioned gunpowder. Gunpowder was the correct answer. Like in a bullet. All right. Here's our next question. This time we are on the category of TV trivia. 20 smackolas up for grabs. This offbeat television comedy was about the eccentric residents of a fictional small town in Alaska. It ran on CBS from 1990 to 1995. It won a pile of awards, including multiple Emmys and Golden Globes. Name the show. $20, TV trivia, 1990 to 1995 on CBS. A show about the eccentric residents of a fictional small town in Alaska. First correct answer wins $20 in Monopoly money. Give it a shot, and good luck.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah, and I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why. We've all got time enough to cry. I was walking down the street one day. A pretty lady looked at me and said her diamond watch had stopped cold dead. And I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why. We've all got time enough to cry. And I was walking down the street one day, people running everywhere, being pushed and shoved by people trying to beat the clock. Oh, I just don't know. I don't know. And I said, yes, I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why.
There we have Chicago on Radio Classics. Well, it's getting to be that time, 9:56, 4 minutes till quitting time. But we will wrap up our great trivia game right after this important message.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America is asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all. On a highway or a road along a levee, performance is sweeter, nothing can beat her. Life is completer in a Chevy. So make a date today to see the USA. See it in your Chevrolet. See the USA in your Chevrolet. The Rockies way out west are calling you. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA, where fields of golden wheat pass and review. Where they're traveling lighter with a load that's heavy. Performance is sweeter, nothing can beat her. Life is completer in a Chevy. So make a date today to see the USA and see it in your Chevrolet.
All right, time for me to head on out of here, but I have enjoyed it as always. And I want to thank you for tuning in. Now, first, let's settle up the trivia game before we go. First of all, a nice round of applause for all our contestants tonight. Yeah, boy, y'all done good. Okay. The final scoreboard looks like this. Gwen had $25 for second place finish, but Celeste was our big winner tonight with 20, 40, $65, and that is good enough to take home the Pennsylvania Railroad. Good job. That will look fabulous in your real estate portfolio. All right, as always, thanks for tuning in. And if you would tell a friend or two about the broadcast, I'd appreciate that. Let them know that we are here Monday through Friday, starting at 10 Eastern Time, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific, and brought to you over most of these stations by Nabisco. And let's see. Oh, the address. Yes, you got to tell them that. Tell them to punch up tomedwards.info on whatever internet device they are using. All right, tomedwards.info, and that will zap them right over to the YouTube chat board where we do our program 5 nights a week. Now, be sure you keep your mask on and avoid people who are not wearing masks. Listen to the medical experts. Don't listen to the crazy man in the Oval Office. I care about your safety, so please be careful. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow night. Thanks again. Tom Edwards signing off.